This is my first film as director, executive producer. Yeah, this is my very first film, our very first film. Rockell and I met at a friend's home. He lived next door to a very dear friend of ours, and she used to have poker games. But I don't play poker, so I came with my Scrabble board, and so I think that's
That's
what.
how we met.
That's how we met, literally. And we've been dear friends and like
Yeah.
sister and brother.
She's my big sister.
Yeah.
But she was my boss during the film. I had to do what she told me to do.
That's right.
And I was hard-headed
Remember
sometimes.
that. Remember
but
that.
Epatha
yeah.
it was great. It was a great
So,
experience.
you know, this is really kind of a family thing for us now. And we found that we work very well together. We're very respectful of one another. We listen to one another. We argue with one another. So it's been a really good working relationship.
What do you think is going on in the woods?
Well, I figured they were down there having their barbecue and drinking.
When this thing started out, it was a spiritual thing. People came, had church, and enjoyed, sing, and have a good time. And now, you name it, they are doing it.
It started out as a religious thing, but it exploded into something else.
The film is about the Fair Hope Benevolent Society, one of the last functioning benevolent societies in America, an African-American benevolent society, and what happens when communities and organizations lose touch with their history and with their traditions. And as part of making the film, Epatha and I wanted to document the history, you know, this forgotten, lost aspect of American history, where newly freed slaves came together after emancipation, after the shock of emancipation, and formed benevolent societies to help themselves transition from slavery to freedom.
Something like that, you know, when I was growing up, wouldn't happen.
If they really knew the purpose of it, I think they would probably act a little better than what they do.
The foot washes is definitely a result of this disconnect that we have in our community for our women, for our children, and just the shoulders of the folks that we stand on. And I think that happens when you lose your history. And I know that it sounds like a broken record almost, that we keep saying this over and over again, but I think it's a direct result of losing the importance of what we've come from and coming to this country in a way that we did not want to be. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for slavery. Perhaps, and that folks that were freed found ways to live in this world that was created for them in a grand way. Between emancipation and the civil rights, there were so many communities of Black people that were thriving. Patents were being created, music was being played, books were being written, songs were being sung. There is a wealth of what's the word I'm looking for? There's a wealth of information on how we have been able to survive in this country, and it comes from the tenacity of a people who came here and had to make a whole new world for themselves.
It's about God and religion.
There's a heaven side and a hell side.
I think it's a disgrace.
I want them to leave there learning something from it, as we did, as we went along, and also be called to move, to be proactive in the community, specifically Black folk. But you know, everyone can take that away. But it is important that I think we start, as I was saying earlier, we start talking about our history so that we don't have this disconnect, that we understand, as the gentleman said so eloquently, that we stand on the shoulders of people who built this country, and that if you know those things, then perhaps your behavior changes.
Exactly,
you
that's
know,
the key.
And that's, I think that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, we wanted not only to document the history so that people could know the history, but we want them, the call to action is for them to take it one step further. Once you know the history, we're hoping that people in our community and the national Black community and communities otherwise will see the film and make a change their collective consciousness, their values, and their attitudes.
My name is Epatha Merkerson.
And my name is Rockell Metcalf.
And you're watching Reelblack.